long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit, it's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long before Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngins pull their pants up? How long we gon' keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gon' keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beats stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? It's your boy, Mr. Provoke Thoughts. We are definitely in the building. Good to see y'all on a Saturday. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk about a few things that happened in the news this week, and just kind of get down to the gist of a few things that's been happening all over the place, man. For the past couple of weeks, I've been doing my thing, and I kind of appreciate, the love that I was getting for some of the lives that I've done. And I really do appreciate that. But, one thing that I can safely say is that I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that I've been doing without my homie. You know what I'm saying? He went out of town and, he got lost. He was sending pictures and all of that stuff. And, just the other day, Big Val was like, "Hey, man, what's going on, man? Where the heck is Noobs at? What the heck is going on? Where you at?" And, hey, man, I was out here traveling with the family, man. It was, everybody deserves that, man. So one thing that I'm going to do is, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring my boy up because y'all ain't seen him in a while, and I ain't seen him in a while. So we're going to go ahead and get that together. All right, brother. What's going on? How you feeling?
What's up, everybody? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still recovering. So I had the advantage of being, one of the masses that was completely clueless as to what's going on around me and just went on vacation and unplugged. It was good.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Because one thing that I can safely say is I didn't call you because, when I'm on vacation, I would love to be off the grid and nobody actually bother me. Let me do my thing. Let me hang out. Let me just be all I can be on my vacation, So, it's really good to see you back, man. And so you have been off the grid. You haven't really seen anything, huh?
No, I have had, this morning, a couple of hours while I was drinking my cup of coffee before I went out to go catch up on mowing grass and that sort of thing. And then, a little bit before I checked in with you to set up for this. So, yeah, you've been bringing me up to speed on a couple of things. And so, and then some of the stuff that you're going to talk about tonight, that's going to be news to me too. And I brought with me just a little clip from, about 2 minutes from Benny's show. It's actually an old clip that he brought up, and it kind of sums up what we talk about in here.
Okay, the divine setup almost, from what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
And it's intense, man, to really kind of think about the fact that that's what we're dealing with, is a strategy to defame a person in the public eye and through the media and, bring them to justice, man. They bring them all the way to the justice system based off of lies and confusion. And, you can't make yin from yang or shit from Shinola from it. but excuse me, everybody. It's just one of those things that people are severely unaware of. It's like, how could you not see it? It's all in front of our faces.
Yeah. And now it's just blatant, because and again, I didn't get to see the whole thing, but you can't miss, the Fannie Willis sound bites from the last week, And so I know they're up her crack now for how she spent money that was appropriated for specific programs.
What I truly don't appreciate about Fannie Willis is that she continues to play this race card.
Mm-hmm.
And honest to goodness, this is not about race.
It's not.
It's not about race. It's about the fact that you had a boyfriend and you chose to pay your boyfriend an exorbitant amount of money, and you went on vacations with this man, and you sent this man to Washington to work on a case with the people from the J6 committee, which is something he was not supposed to do.
And the money that she used to do that was taken away from youth centers for kids that she is now prosecuting.
Absolutely.
And so, every time we look at Fannie Willis, it just gets dirtier and dirtier. I mean,
and then she had a debate last week. You probably didn't know about this.
I heard about it, and I heard that she walked off of the debate, but that's about as much as I got.
She didn't even go. She chose to go to a party with rappers and other people and all of that, and make stupid speeches and talk about her black college experience. And it's all she's running behind race. Don't nobody give a crap about your blackness, your whiteness. If you're wrong on this, you're wrong on this. And you if it was a white person, I would still be just as shocked and appalled. Seriously.
Absolutely. I mean, dirty pool is dirty pool. And just to prove that point, one of the people that sticks in my craw the most, even more than Fannie Willis, is Auntie Pelosi.
Oh my goodness.
Because that woman will stand, she's lying because her eyes are open. You know what I mean?
And
she lies. Oh my goodness. And it irks me. It irks me to hear her voice.
Oh my goodness. It's some people out there, when I get to these Joe Biden videos, you're gonna have to rein me in because I lost it a couple of times this week already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did. I admit I lost it, and I went on a cussing rant because I can't believe the things that comes out of this man's mouth and the comments, and I'm like what
yeah. And it makes me wonder, who it is that they're talking to, because I mean, who is still buying this, the crap that they say when it's a blatant reverse of what is coming out of their mouth is actual reality. And I mean, how can you not live in this world? And I don't even care what news channel you watch, because I mean, if you're an avid MSNBC viewer, you have to know by now that they're full of shit because they've been wrong so many times.
Right. But people will sit up here and say that, they'll say random shit like Donald Trump ain't no good. He be stealing. What the hell?
Right.
Did he steal?
Yeah. What did he? Yeah. Tell me the rest of the story.
Like, he a crook like everybody else. What?
Yeah.
I'm like, where are you getting this information?
Yeah. What is your source for this?
I literally need to know, because people just spew out crap, and it's like I'm not.
And I think what it is that anytime something is reported nowadays, and it doesn't matter whether it's right or left, it's biased to begin with. And so then, depending on which side picks up that story, they're going to twist it in their own way, and they're going to provide the first media, piece as the source. And then the next media piece is going to take it and twist it a little bit more, and then they're going to refer to that secondhand media source that they got, their article from, and that's the world that we live in, because there's all journalism I mean, seriously, what we do on this show and the kind of research that we do ahead of time before we go on the show, we should be getting paid what they're getting paid at Fox and MSNBC, because we're doing the same shit. Because that is all the journalism that they do. That's all they do.
And using your logical brain and actually calling it down the middle. I mean,
yeah. I mean, so I can't wait till we start, bringing in like, MSNBC kind of money. And when that happens, though, does that mean we can also just say whatever we want? No matter if it's true.
And whatever you say is crap.
Yeah. And not only is it crap, it's racist.
Yeah, absolutely. Anti whatever they say, it's not.
Yep,
don't
that's
say
it.
That.
Because the mission is not to debate with you. The mission is to shut you up.
Absolutely. Hey, Miss Teresa, how you doing?
Hey, there we go.
Teresa
snuck in. I didn't even see that, man. I was sleeping.
Oh yeah, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, man. It's been a lot going on, man. Trump actually did 2 campaign stops.
I saw the pizza delivery
in one day. He delivered to the firemen in New York.
So he did it at 2 places.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't see that whole story either.
He campaigned in Wisconsin and Michigan.
I see.
And then on Friday, was it Thursday, Friday, he stopped at the fire engine, Fire Company 8.
Mm-hmm. I don't know which one it was, yeah.
And hooked them up with a little pizza and shook hands with people, and they're like, man, save us, please, save us.
Yeah. Lex, what's up, Lex?
Yeah, Lex is in the building. Hey, that's what's up, man. How you feeling this evening, brother? Yeah, so like I said, the trial has been going on, and the more that is going on, the more I'm trying to figure out what in the heck is this about.
Right. And so, yeah, that's something that we need to talk about, because I've gotten some highlights, but I haven't gotten a ton of detail.
What is this about? Because it ain't about no hush money per se.
Right.
It's about a person signing a non-disclosure agreement. And per that agreement, you are going to get a certain level of compensation for your silence. It does not necessarily mean that anything happened. It just means that you if you honor this non-disclosure agreement, then fine. But see, the thing about it is that they went to attorneys and found out that they could get more money.
You lost all your light.
I know, right? I don't know what the heck just happened, but we'll figure it out. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you just fine, and I can see you, but you lost all your light. There's a little bit back from your screens.
Okay, I don't know.
Your room lights went out. You must have just had a brownout.
Yeah, it was some little glitch in the program here.
It's a glitch in the matrix. I told y'all, man. We live in an artificial world.
Absolutely, they're trying to set my shit off, man. It's crazy. Yeah, my screen and everything. I think I need to do it. I'm going to log off a second and come right back. Okay.
All right, man. You're gonna make me talk about crazy stuff while you're gone. So
talk about the Grand Canyon or something.
Yeah. Hurry up and get out of here so I can start.
All right. Yeah.
You still here?
I'm trying to go.
Oh man, we're just gonna have to kick him out of here, I think. All right, so you all know. I mean, if you look at a video game, any video game that you play that's like, where you have multiple players, whether Call of Duty or whatever, the more and more players that you get into the game, the more lag you get. And so, have you ever wondered why it is that the maximum speed for anything in the universe is the speed of light? Maybe it's just because we're inside of a simulation. Here he comes.
All right, I'm back, people. I don't know what the hell that was about, but we
Looks like you got some lights back too.
We are back. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what that shit. Good Lord. I'm like, yeah, we're in the dark here. Thank you, everybody who's in here for sticking around since I had to close out my browsers and everything and figure out what the fuck that was about.
You also lost your queued video.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. It's perfectly fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm not going to lose it. I'm trying my best to be cool, you know. And let's see. So, first of all, I was amazed. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about this amazing clip that I put up a couple days ago. I really didn't expect anything from it. I was early in the morning at work, supposed to be working, nothing really going on. And I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and, do this little short shit. Why not? Let's see what happens here. So, I do this short, and, it starts off innocent enough as it is. And next thing you know, I'm looking and I get like after like after like after like, view after view after view after view. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So it's probably one of the, it kind of went mini viral. It's only been like a day, but I'm really excited about that because I'm like, oh, a 15-second clip, and it's something that I just stuck a head on, but it made so much sense that I had to get in an argument with somebody about it because, people don't have a sense of humor. They don't have conjecture or can, hold two thoughts opposing in their head, and then they'll spew out crap that they heard from their friends and not from the news. So, they don't watch the news. They listen to their bone-headed cousins and aunties and shit that's telling them some shit that they heard on the news, and they're interpreting it all wrong. So, it caused a bit of a fodder. In a way.
I tell him not to respond to the trolls, and he says that that he's just having fun with them anyway, and so
yeah, I just literally
get that.
I literally just wanted to kill every ambition that they had that they were correct about anything that they were saying. I mean, because at the end of the day, it does not make sense to be about an administration that has hiked your taxes, hiked your gas prices, hiked your food, hiked everything up.
And sometimes the fruit is so low hanging that it just smacks you in the forehead as you're walking by.
So real quick, and we're not going to jump into like anything. This is just for a quick laugh for my few people that are in here. We'll revisit this later on through the night. But this is freaking hilarious. So if you want to go over to my my shorts and like, share, and subscribe. I did this at at Pinata Farms or some shit. Fucking hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious, man. Just look at it. Just think about it. It's hilarious. So on this particular video, you guys, I ended up getting like 9,000 likes. And it was really, really cool.
Views. You got 9,000 views.
Oh, views. I'm sorry. I've been hey, look, I've been drinking and shit. So so basically, I'm actually floored by that because it's like, okay,
the little short. Old.
Yeah, it's a day old and it has like 9,500 views. And it's amazing. So another thing that I do want to tell everybody that's in here is that we are now at 400 likes on the nose because of this video and because of all of that. So we need to go ahead and keep on moving, and you like, share, subscribe to your people. Make sure that you do that, so that we can get this channel to where it needs to be so people can see what we're trying to do, because we are embarking on some big things here, people.
And on top of that, if somebody has got an idea for like a short clip, because I think we're gonna, just go down that road a little bit more than we have been historically. And so if you've got an idea for a short clip, it could be serious style, it could be, funny style, whatever. Drop a line in the comments, because, both of us sit here with pen and pencils and take notes, about the things that we like to do. And sometimes, let's be real. I mean, sometimes we're amused by our own humor. And so we can use some others too.
Yeah, we do silly shit like this.
Yeah.
We do a lot of silly shit just like this. It's hilarious. I don't give a damn. I'll watch it for the rest of my life. Look, you got on the diaper and everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, diaper on and everything. I'm like, oh, Sleepy Joe. This is what would happen in the foot race. And said Trump would make it 100 feet. It was hilarious. They were talking so much shit in the comments. I was pissing off the world. Yeah, and it's crazy because in order for you to get somewhere, you got to piss some people off. That brings about awareness.
So what happened this week in the news, man? What's news? What did I miss?
Okay. Well, in the news, of course, there's been testimony. Well, one of the main things that I'm concerned about are these protesters.
Mm-hmm.
And these college protesters that are out here talking about death to America and whatnot.
Right.
That are literally in our country and getting gaslit by left professors.
And that's not even the part that I'm most concerned about, because college kids will be college kids. They're not going to figure out what the real world is like until after college. So, they're still on mommy and daddy's dime, grant money, whatever it is, living it up, that sort of deal. What concerns me the most is, and you can help confirm or deny this rumor, is that Biden wants to bring some 100,000 Hamas directly into the country as asylum seekers.
Right. Where some of the one of the senators have literally written a letter stating, look, man, you can't vet and see if these people don't come from terrorist groups and all of this crap. And oh my goodness, it's like they're not listening. I don't know. It's like, who's controlling you? Because obviously you're not controlling anything.
Well, and who is, because Republicans don't have the balls to do the impeachment, especially with this, old fucking spike at the helm of, Speaker of the House. I don't know what the hell he's doing. They got something on him. Maybe that's what was on P. Diddy's airplane.
Man, I can dig it.
Who knows?
I can really. Yeah, go ahead.
Because all of a sudden that dude is flip flopped, and they're not gonna tell us shit. They're not gonna tell us what's going on.
Absolutely not.
So I guess we're just at the left, to assume on our own, and I'm just saying.
So before we get to the because it's some deep talk got to be had about these people who are in our country, and we have to do math and figure this out, because I've been hearing for about almost 9 years about how the border has been trash and people have been coming in, and our country has been giving them visas and shit and sending them to school.
And plane tickets. There are lines at airports designated for illegal immigrants with no ID.
Mm-hmm.
They're being flown just wherever the fuck. Nobody knows where or when or who they are.
Right. We'll give you. They put them in the witness protection program and shit.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they want your guns.
Man, it's all a play, man. It's all a play. So we're gonna get started with this testimony from Hope Hicks. Hope Hicks worked for Trump in his campaign as he was running for president in 2016. And, you know, this testimony shows that this narrative is BS. They are literally, we got extortionists and scam artists everywhere. We got Michael Cohen trying to get into a position of power that he doesn't deserve. And now he wants revenge. And this is what we are working with here. So shout out to Unwoke Thoughts and everybody over there at Firebrand Media for all their content and everything they do. And I appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and get something going with them. So let's keep it popping.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are about to go back into the courtroom in the Southern District of New York, where our guy, Inner City Press, is covering everything that is going on there. He's giving us what the prosecution is saying, the defense is saying, the judge is saying. He's letting us know what's happening in this courtroom because there are no cameras. So we have to get the information this way. But before we go into the courtroom, guys, I wanted to read to you one of the funniest True Social posts by Donald Trump that he put out after court yesterday. And he is replying to these allegations that he has somehow fallen asleep during this trial, which I wouldn't blame him because this trial, everyone knows, is a sham. It's a scam. It's a clown show. So if he wants to, take a little nap here and there, I mean, come on. The guy, he can go to Michigan. He can go to Wisconsin, campaign, have 2 rallies on the same day, fly back in, sit in court for 7-8 hours. I mean, the guy has endless amounts of energy. So if he wants to take a little nap here and there, I wouldn't blame him at all. But this is what he said. This is his post. He said, contrary to the fake news media, I don't fall asleep during the crooked DA's witch hunt, especially not today. I simply close my beautiful blue eyes. Sometimes I listen intensely and take it all in. Yes, that was Donald Trump's response to CNN, MSNBC, the fake news media. We all know which ones they are.
Because they can't really talk about shit in the case because there is no freaking case. So
Right.
the only thing they can talk about is Donald Trump to close the day. He was sleeping.
Yeah. And I mean, who gives a shit? I mean, I couldn't sit there with my eyes open and listen to all the BS that's been coming out for hours on end every day. He ain't getting paid to be there. Who gives a damn? I would definitely nap during that. He needs his energy, to go to fire departments and deliver pieces and campaign in Michigan. So
Right.
fuck yeah, I would take a nap during. Hell yeah, I would.
I mean, because y'all gonna do what the fuck y'all gonna do anyway. Y'all don't need me right now.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I'd be tempted to get up and start stringing a hammock.
Man.
Just, if y'all need me, just give me a little nudge. I'll be over here in my hammock.
Because this is some bullshit. So let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Making fun of him for falling asleep during the trial. And I don't think any of us really would have a problem with him doing that. I mean, you should.
Just like I said, I don't have a problem with it.
The United States. He's got to deal with all these corrupt trials, and he's also got a campaign and go to rallies. So him taking a little nap here and there, I wouldn't blame him whatsoever. But let's go back into the courtroom where Douglas Dowse, he is this tech guy for the District Attorney of New York. He's being cross-examined by Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's attorney. And then after that, we have Georgia Longstreet up on the witness stand. She's a paralegal for the district attorney. And then after that is the big one. We have Hope Hicks is going to take the stand. And she was the director of strategic communications for Donald Trump. So we have an interesting one today, guys. But it looks like Donald Trump has arrived. He's got a blue suit on. He's got a blue tie. Man, how does this guy do it? He's looking sharp again. And he's talking to his lawyer, Emile Beauvais. It's not Bove, guys. It's Beauvais. Okay.
Whatever.
Talking to Emile Beauvais to his right, who is in the lead counsel cross-examination seat. And Blanche comes up. He crossed the aisle to confer with the prosecution. And the clerk says, all rise. This is the people of the state of New York versus Donald J. Trump. And Judge Merchan says, all right, before we put the witness on the stand, I want to clarify to Mr. Trump that you have an absolute right to testify at trial. The order restricting extrajudicial statements does not limit what you can say from the stand. That's why it's called extrajudicial statement. Now we have Blanche, and he says, we have evidentiary objections about the next witness. There is hearsay. The people are trying to introduce a full transcript of the Access Hollywood tape. Remember, this is the one where Donald Trump said, grab them by the you-know-what.
Which, that's what this shit's about.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the same kind of bullshit that they did to R. Kelly.
I mean, what the hell, man?
And they didn't learn anything from, not Epstein, who's the other guy?
Weinstein.
Weinstein. They didn't learn anything from that because they just overturned his case for the exact same thing. And here they are doing it again. And so where's Nietzsche at? Because here is the law breaking the law.
Oh my gosh.
And so they learn nothing. We just got an overturned conviction on Weinstein for the exact same thing. And here they are doing it again right in our faces, and they don't give a damn.
Right. Because the juries that they pick don't understand.
And not just that, because they will never, ever show that clip. It will never see the light of day on MSNBC, NBC.
Which is the extreme story suppression of them all.
And, you know, and I skipped over it today because I didn't have time to watch it. But, I mean, I also saw concerning this case, there was somebody on CNN that wasn't even buying the bullshit. You know, so, you know, they got somebody on CNN that's like, you know, whoa, what are you talking about? You obviously weren't watching the same thing that I was. And so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's amazing. Let's keep going.
But he continues, he says, but it is only coming in to show intent. Mr. Pecker already testified about it. I expect there will be a witness today who will speak extensively about it. The court would take into account the Weinstein decision. Then we have Merchan. He says, you mean the reversal on Harry Weinstein? I don't think that ruling changes my view at all. The law of Sandoval remains the same. Now we have Blanche, and he says, then there's the truth, which is, you know, the post from True Social about if you come after me, I'm coming after you. There's been briefing in DC, the gag order there, but there's no proof. Maybe if they came up with proof on other tweets. Merchan says, all right, the jury's waiting. Now we have the prosecutor. And he says, the court ruled we can introduce a transcript of the Access Hollywood tape. Can we do it with the photo blacked out? It's from the Wayback Machine. Merchan says, the people do have a right to establish the date when it was published. Let's get the witness and then jury. And then we have Douglas Dowse, taking the stand. He's this tech guy who works for the District of Attorney of New York. So he takes the stand. He is sworn in. We have the jury entering, and we have Trump's lawyer, Beauvais, continuing to cross-examine him. And he says, the two cell phones, you got the consent of Michael Cohen, were signed January 19th of 2023, correct?
Now listen to all this Michael Cohen talk that's going to jump off, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, no Trump, Michael Cohen.
Yes, but you got it January the 23rd. Your unit didn't get the two phones under January the 23rd. Let's talk about chain of custody. There's only one signature as witness, not two. That's not ideal if there is a dispute, right? Theoretically, says Dowse. You'd want to have two witnesses, right? You don't know if the phone was hooked up to the internet, do you? I do not. You found a Signal app on the phone, yes? I did, says Dowse. Self-delete is an option, and it is difficult to get them then, right? It is. Mr. Cohen had it set for messages to self-destruct in 7 seconds, right? He did. What about the Dust app, which allows self-delete as soon as a message is read? It would make it impossible for someone like you to reconstruct. That is correct. Now, Beauvais, he says, a factory reset can wipe all the data off a phone, right? Yes, it can. Well, there was a factory reset of Michael Cohen's phone in October 2016, correct? There was. So then where did the file come from, asked Beauvais. It was from the sync on January the 25th of 2017. You don't know what the backup entailed? That file certainly was backed up, says Dowse. Well, we'll talk about the September 6th file, but first, you didn't collect Michael Cohen's laptop, did you? No, we did not. The large number of contacts could come from the sync, correct? Yes, it could. Because remember, Michael Cohen had like 38,000 contacts in his phone. It's just an insane amount of context. You know the call was cut off, right? Yes, it was cut off near the end. How do you know it was the end? Bring up defense exhibit G19. Does it refresh your collection? No, said Dowse. The call you say came in at the end of the audio file. There's nothing on the cell phone about it, is there? There is not. This photo of Michael Cohen in the White House, is this the metadata? Yes, but there's no similar metadata for the audio files. No. Well, there was another sync in October, but the exhibits show nothing about it. So we just have to take Michael Cohen's word about what happened in October of 2020. And that seems to be kind of a problem, right?
That's what they want. That's what they want us to do. They want us to listen to a liar, a Michael Avenatti style some bitch. Okay, yeah.
Because Michael Cohen is an established liar, and all the witnesses who have dealings with Michael Cohen have said, his credibility is severely lacking. But Trump's lawyer continues and says, and the phone was turned on again in 2022. Did you know? I did not. And Michael Cohen used it to make another recording, and you don't know what he did. And the prosecution, objection sustained by the judge, another sustained objection from the prosecution by Judge Bertrand. Wow, surprise, surprise. So Beauvais, he continues his question. He says, so we just have to take Michael Cohen's word for it. And Dowse says, yes, we do. And Beauvais, with that, he says, no further question.
Right, absolutely. And what should we got to take? He a liar, right? Been convicted. We supposed to take his word for it? Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay.
That is all. Thank you very much. I'm finished with this guy.
Oh my God! Good Lord.
So they are trying to insinuate that this recording that we heard that was cut off at a very specific time was the end of the conversation. It was only a few second recording, but we don't know if that was the beginning, the end, the middle of the conversation. And we really don't know what the context is because there's no metadata. So we just have to take Michael Cohen's word that that was the end of the conversation and there's no other context. Yeah, right. And now we have Prosecutor Conroy popping up, and you see him right here. And he's going to do a recross of Dowse. And he says, and you actually saw no evidence of tampering, did you? And Dowse says, I did not.
Look at this left dweeb right here. Oh my goodness.
They all have that bot look about them, man. I don't know what it is.
Soulless eyes and shit.
I don't know what it is, and the worst part about it is it a stereotype or is it just I can't figure it out. But I mean, you can almost look at a person and tell, like,
they got them dingle eyes. They crazy as shit.
I don't know what it is, man.
Dingle eyes. Boy, demon seeds. Yeah, let's keep going. It gets good.
No further questions. And now we have Beauvais, and he says, you saw the possibility of tampering in the cutoff of the file by a call. Nothing on that in the phone, right? And Dowse says, that's right. And now we have Judge Bertrand, and he says, counsel, please approach. And they have a whispered sidebar. Trump is at the defense table. And Judge Bertrand says, next witness. And the prosecutor says, the people call Georgia Longstreet from the District Attorney of New York. And the prosecutor says, where do you work, Miss Longstreet? I work at the District Attorney of New York. I'm a paralegal. Have you worked on a case against Donald Trump? Yes, for about the last year and a half. Collecting social media info, tweets, Instagram, and True Social. Now, the prosecutor, how many social media posts have you saved? 1,500. I use Snagit, and then I hash it. Did you review at Real Donald Trump on Twitter? I did, and at POTUS45. What is Truth Social? Longstreet says, it's like Twitter. Did you use the Wayback Machine to review previously published news articles? I did, including 405A, the Washington Post article, which is the Access Hollywood tape. Objection. And then Judge Bertrand says, all right, jurors, step out, please. And then we have Trump's lawyer, Blanche, who is arguing about this. And he says, we'd like to discuss a stipulation about this exhibit, given your ruling. Bertrand says, I'm going to step out for a few minutes. And then they come back. Bertrand, he says, I'm satisfied a foundation has been laid by the witness for authenticity. The prosecutor says, Your Honor ruled that we can introduce evidence to offset defendant's claim the witness benefit from testifying and to explain previous denials. I guess he was satisfied with that. So we have the jury entering, and the prosecutor continues the questioning. And he says, we have a stipulation that the Access Hollywood tape was published by the Washington Post on October the 7th of 2016. We offer these exhibits. And Blanche says, objection. And Merchan says, objection is noted. Prosecutor continues. This is 407A People's Exhibit. And the jury is shown a video of Trump apologizing for Access Hollywood tape, where he says, quote, this is a distraction. I've said some foolish things. Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has intimidated his victims. Wow.
And that is absolutely true.
Yep.
I did a live earlier this week in regards to that. How is it that he did the same thing, paid off, and he intimidated? Hillary threatening females to shut up. And there's no charges, man. Nothing.
Yep. Not even an investigation.
And see, they use things that are already out there. It's already out there. I mean, look at this Stormy Daniels thing, man. It was already out there, man. Look at this.
And then not just Stormy Daniels, but I mean, look at his kid's laptop. You know,
right?
Look at his laptop. I mean,
but listen, this is 2011. Okay, this video.
And the porn star who alleges she had an affair with the president took a lie detector test in 2011 to prove she was telling the truth. Stormy Daniels' attorney released this file photo. She's also suing the president to get out of a non-disclosure agreement. Daniels took the test 7 years ago after she was interviewed about the alleged affair. In Touch magazine waited until this year to publish the article. The polygraph test examiner believed Daniels was telling the truth when she said she had sexual relations with Trump in 2006. Stormy Daniels sent this tweet out today. Technically, I didn't sleep with the POTUS 12 years ago. There was no sleeping, and he was just a goofy reality TV star. But I digress.
Isn't that ridiculous?
People do care that he lied about it, had me bullied, broke laws to cover it up, etc. And P.S., I am not going anywhere.
So the story always changes.
And the porn star who
But what about the crap that you signed, man? You know, what about that? What about that? So let's jump back in here.
Sounds true to me. The prosecutor, he continues, he says, when was this? Longstreet said, this was October the 8th of 2016. And what's this? She says, from True Social on March the 15th, 2023. Quote, I did nothing wrong in the horseface case. I guess this is Donald Trump talking. He continues, Ellen Michael Cohen. Then, quote, if you go after me, I'm coming after you, end quote. Prosecutor says, no further questions. And now we have Todd Blanche coming up to cross-examine Longstreet. And he comes up and he says, did you review the Twitter of Michael Cohen? Yes, says Longstreet. Have you reviewed his TikTok? No. Have you listened to all of his Mea Culpa podcasts? Absolutely not. It's almost impossible to listen to all those. There's tons of them. He goes live almost nightly on TikTok. But Todd Blanche, he continues. He says, you have no independent knowledge of how True Social date stamps its posts. I do not. No further questions. And now we have the one we've been waiting for, guys. We have Hope Hicks taking the stand. The prosecutor says, the people call Hope Hicks. And Trump's lawyer says, objection. And then they have a sidebar. Now we have Hope Hicks, and she says, I am Hope Hicks. I started working in different PR and marketing jobs. Hiltzik Strategies, crisis communications for well-known individuals. I met Ivanka Trump and started to help with her personal brand, then Trump Hospitality Initiatives. The prosecutor, he says, did you work for the Trump campaign? Yes. I worked for Mr. Trump. At that time, Mr. Trump said he was exploring a campaign. What do you do now? I have a communications company. Have you been subpoenaed by the District Attorney of New York? Yes, I have. Who is paying for your lawyer? I am, says Hope Hicks. When did you last speak with the defendant? It was summer of 2022. How did you start with the Trump organization? Hicks says it was thriving. There were golf courses and buildings. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric. Were you called into Mr. Trump's office when he was meeting with someone else? Yes, he might call in for poll numbers, positive press about properties. Well, who did you report to? Everyone who works there reports to Mr. Trump, says Hope Hicks. Are you familiar with Keith Schiller? Yes, he was Mr. Trump's bodyguard. They were close. And Rhonda Graff? She was crucial to how everything ran on the 26th floor. And Alan Weiselberg? All things financial. Mr. Trump lent himself money for the campaign at first. Required financial disclosure. Tell us about it. We did it and put out a press release. And Michael Cohen, he was a lawyer. Tell us about the campaign, says the prosecutor. He said, we're going to Iowa, then New Hampshire, and South Carolina. I became the press secretary. Was Mr. Trump focused on press coverage of the campaign? Yes. What phone did you use? What are the last 4 digits? 0226. Do you know David Pecker? Yes, says Hicks, editor of the National Enquirer. Do you remember being in a meeting with the two? No. Did you hear calls? Yes, there was one after the National Enquirer story about Dr. Ben Carson. Well, what about? Medical malpractice. Mr. Trump's prizeworthy. Then there was a story about Ted Cruz's father and Lee Harvey Oswald. Well, did you become aware of the Access Hollywood tape? I forwarded the email to Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, and Jason Miller.
It stopped.
No, what the hell are they even talking about?
I don't know.
What the hell is going on? I'm like, this is leading nowhere. But to Michael Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Hold on, man. Wait.
Did you say deny, deny, deny? Hicks, she laughs and she says, I didn't see that whole transcript was there. It made the strategy harder. And we have Trump. He's looking down. He's taking notes. So he is definitely not sleeping right now, I guess. But Hicks, she continues and she says, Mr. Trump was doing debate prep. He saw the 5 of us talking and asked us to come in. Well, what did he say? He said it didn't sound like something that we would say. The prosecutor says, were you with Mr. Trump when you saw the video? Yes, I was. How did he react? Well, he was upset. He knew it wasn't good, but it was locker room talk. Pretty standard stuff for 2 guys chatting with each other. Well, what did he say should be done? Hicks says that we should put out a statement. And then she continues and she says, I got the email at 1:30. The story was posted at 3:30 and our statement was out by 4 p.m. It said Bill Clinton has said far worse. And did you post a video? Yes. And the jury is then shown a statement Longstreet brought into evidence an hour ago. And the prosecutor says, what was the media response? Hicks says, it was intense. It dominated the news cycle until the debate. News about a Category 4 hurricane fell away. Did prominent Republicans condemn Mr. Trump? Hicks says, yeah. Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, the usual group. Yeah, the usual group of rhinos right there. Yep. But the prosecutor continues, did Paul Ryan disinvite Mr. Trump from a campaign event in Wisconsin? Objection. Overruled. Another overruled objection by the prosecution. So Merchan overrules the objection and the prosecutor continues and he says, did Mr. Ryan say he was sickened by Mr. Trump?
It froze again.
This mean weak ass man. If you notice, you got uninvited to stuff by these weak ass men that couldn't like be a man and be like, okay, he said the shit. I done said the shit before. Apologies. Sorry. Ain't nobody dead. Damn.
Yep, got to get on that bandwagon, man.
Oh my God, it's sexist and misogynistic.
Mm-hmm. Of course, they completely leave out the context because he never said that was something that he would do. He was describing the behavior of the people in Hollywood.
Of the women.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't even heard that brought up in this silly cross-examine because, I mean, this shouldn't even be part of this case. Like you said, it has nothing to do with it.
It's nothing. What the hell is this? This is nothing to do with anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's here. Let's go.
Yes, that sounds like something he would say. And Mitch McConnell, does this refresh your recollection? Well, he said it was repugnant and unacceptable. Who was John McCain? He was a senator, said Hicks. Objection, Bove, sustained. Now we have a sustained objection. Judge Merchan, he's looking at the list of objections. He's overruled from the defense. He's like, it's too many. I got to sustain at least one. So we'll give them this one. So the prosecutor, he continues. He said, did Speaker Ryan do a call with House members? And do you know what he said? Objection. May I be heard at the sidebar, says Bove. And then they have a sidebar. And Merchan sustains another objection. Wow. Is he conservative now? But the prosecutor continues and he says, did you reach out to Michael Cohen? Hicks says, yes, about a rumor that there was another tape out there. I asked him to call a media friend of his. Well, did Mr. Cohen follow up? I think he made the call. There was no such tape. Then she continues and she says, at the debate Sunday in St. Louis, the Access Hollywood tape was among the first questions. After the debate, there were more reports. Well, did you attend the rally in Greensboro, North Carolina on October the 15th? Yes. Well, who could post on @RealDonaldTrump? Only Mr. Trump and Dan Scavino. Now, the prosecution, have you heard of Karen McDougal? I heard in November of 2016, says Hicks. And Stormy Daniels? In 2015, I heard about her at a celebrity golf tournament. After I got the email from the Wall Street Journal, I thought maybe through Rupert Murdoch we could buy some time. I forwarded it to Jared Kushner. He had a relationship. And then the prosecutor says, we offer this into evidence, and Merchan admits it. And the prosecutor continues, did you ask Michael Cohen for input? Hicks says he edited my draft.
Michael Cohen. Seriously. Like, you
And it still
really,
has to do with what they're there for.
what the hell? And it's all silly shit. And if he fell for the extortion plot, whose fault is that? Michael Cohen's.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. All right, so let's see. Let's get to
Draft statement. Did you speak with Mr. Trump? He wanted to have an understanding. I told him what Mr. Pecker said to me, that it was a legitimate contract for services. He did not want to use the statement we had drafted. He wanted to write his own, a denial that we didn't know anything about this deal. And the prosecutor says, when you learned that Stormy Daniels would also be in the story, did you talk with Mr. Trump? Yes. He said, deny everything. I thought the story was not about certain behavior. Merchan says, all right, we're going to take a break. And they're back. Trump is speaking to his lawyer, Beauvais, and we have Merchan. He says, all right, please bring the witness out. Miss Hicks, I remind you, you are still under oath. The jury enters. The prosecutor is still questioning Hope Hicks. And he says, did you witness a call between Mr. Trump and Mr. Cohen about this? Hicks says, after Ohio, we flew to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we were getting into the car. I heard Mr. Trump, but there is nothing memorable about the call. Prosecutor, where did you start that day? Hicks says, in Maine. Now, the story about Karen McDougal, it quoted you. Can you read it? Then Hicks, she reads the quote, and it says, quote, we have no knowledge of any of this, ... untrue, end quote. Now, the prosecutor, did Mr. Trump tell you to say that? Hicks says, that was the consensus. By Mr. Trump? And Hicks responds, no, romantic affair. Now the prosecutor puts up Hicks' grand jury testimony, and Hicks says, as I sit here now, I don't have a strong memory of him telling me we have no knowledge. These were hectic conversations. And now the prosecutor is reading from the grand jury testimony, and he says, Mr. Davidson also represented Stephanie Clifford. Quote, did you text with Mr. Cohen about this? Yes, November 4th through the 5th of 2016, Michael asked, any news? He wrote, quote, I don't see it getting much play, and then laughed.
I don't see any information about anything getting to Donald Trump. Are you seeing that pattern?
What I'm hearing is a bunch of back alley conversations from and to people in Trump's circle. But the thing that's missing is Trump.
Right.
Yeah, so let's see if they come up with anything.
Oh, God.
A little irony there. Then what? Michael said it's getting little to no traction. Well, Mr. Cohen wrote he had a statement from Stormy Daniels. What did you take that to mean? I didn't know. I just wanted to blow past it and keep going. I was asked for David Pecker's number. Mr. Trump wanted to speak to him. Mr. Trump was concerned about how his wife would see it. He asked me to make sure the news.
So they say that his purpose was to stop the shit from getting there so he could win the election, but he clearly said it was about how his wife would see it.
Right. But again, it's hearsay. So this is her saying that this is what Trump said. But
it's not looking good for the prosecution. Good Lord. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, now, he's done nothing wrong.
Newspapers weren't delivered to their residence the next morning. Well, when did you start working in the White House? And Hicks responds, January the 20th of 2017. I left between 2018 and 2020. Where did you work from there? Hicks says, just outside the Oval Office, there were 2 desks and a vestibule with a mini fridge and a coffee machine. Who was in the second desk next to you? Madeleine Westerhout. Were you aware Karen McDougal sued AMI to be released from her non-disclosure agreement? I've recently been refreshed. Well, these text messages between you and Madeleine Westerhout, did your lawyer produce them under subpoena? Yes. And when the Stormy Daniels story resurfaced, what next? Well, President Trump told him Michael had paid about a false allegation with his own money. So Hope Hicks is testifying that, once again, everything leads back.
Did you hear that, noobs? He paid Stormy Daniels with his own money.
Yep. Like he's brown nosing.
And started all this shit because of it. Wow.
Back to Michael Cohen. But the prosecutor continues and he says, was that consistent with what you knew of Michael Cohen? Hicks says, no, he was not charitable. Prosecutor says, no further questions. And now we have.
He was not charitable. He was doing that shit to get something.
Mm-hmm.
And what he was trying to get was the attorney general spot in the White House. And you were dumb. It's all in your face. You're a blithering idiot, sir. Ain't no way in hell Donald Trump would have. This is not The Apprentice, you joke.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He looks insane. Michael Cohen does, actually.
Well, yeah, because everything that he has said so far has backfired. It's just blown up in his face.
Right. So this is a Cohen thing from what I'm gathering.
Trump's lawyer, Emile Beauvais, and he says, the Trump organization created the communications position for you, right? Hicks says yes, and she starts crying, actually. And Merchan says,
so CNN has spun this shit when she started crying. What does that mean? You can clearly, he created this position for you. He didn't have to do that for her.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes somebody emotional. He did something that he didn't have to do for her. If he was such a monster and a creep, look at her. He would have been trying to do something to her, but he treated her with respect. See, these are the things that I want for people to see.
And this is, and then the very next line is Mershon, rushing the jurors out.
Yeah, too hot in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. We're not getting what we need here.
Good Lord.
Says, Miss Hicks, do you need a break? And so they take a break. The jurors step out. Now they're back. Trump is talking with Beauvais and Blanche. Then Hicks says, sorry about that. Beauvais says, you called it a family business. Hicks says, yes. Beauvais says, you said Mr. Trump's relationship with Ronna Graff was respectful, yes? Hicks says, yes, I really respected Ronna. Then for the campaign in 2015 through 2016, Mr. Cohen wasn't part of the campaign, right? Hicks says, well, he would try to insert himself.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, jury, please listen.
But Mr. Cohen was supposed to focus on Mr. Trump's business credential as a surrogate, correct? Yes. And then he went rogue at times? Hicks says, yes, he did. He liked to call himself a fixer.
So,
how many times have we said it? How many times have we said it?
Oh, shit. And they tried to make it seem Donald Trump's his fixer. He called himself the fixer.
And I like how now it's just, even now I know that Unwoke Thoughts knows what's going on. But
Absolutely.
I mean, he's reading it like, this is news. Like this is something that we haven't been talking about, for more than a year.
Serious.
Only because he first broke it, and then she laughs. Now Beauvais says, President Trump's calls with Mr. Pecker didn't stick out because he often spoke with the press, correct? Hicks says that's right. He does a good job maintaining relationships with the media, even if they are negative on him. Beauvais says, campaigns promote themselves, right? Yes. Bove continues. He says, campaigns do negative social media too, right? Yes, I've only been part of one campaign, and it was a great one. So that's a sign of respect for Donald Trump. Now, Beauvais, did you travel with a laptop, send any messages? Yes, says Hicks. Now, Beauvais, there were constant inquiries about negative stories. Yes. Getting together to discuss coverage wasn't strange, was it? It wasn't. There was the leak of President Trump's tax info. You also met about that. Yes, I did. On October the 8th, he was worried. Hicks responds, yes, he was worried about how to be seen at home. You've met Mrs. Trump, right? Yes, President Trump really respects her. She doesn't weigh in much, but when she does, he really listens. Now, in 2017, you didn't have anything to do with the business records of the Trump organization 200 miles away, did you? No, I didn't. No further questions, says Beauvais. The prosecutor has nothing. And now Justice Merchan says, please approach. And Merchan says, jurors.
That was really profound. And they didn't have anything because at the end, because they don't want her to keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want her to keep talking because that humanized the whole situation and showed who was actually doing the things that they were doing. That would be nice. And let's see, but I'm telling you, it's really, really interesting just to see how this is rolling, man. And this is an absolute setup. Like, you can see it.
And it's still not going well for them. And they're still going to find some bullshit reason to find him guilty of something, because they're desperate to do it.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
Yep, and then it's going to end up going to the Supreme Court and getting overturned and all that kind of hefty shit. And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So they're literally breaking the law.
Yeah.
And setting people up in order to, just creating crimes and shit, using the media.
And one of the things, that's come to mind as a way to fix some of this shit is that judges should not be giving or receiving political donations, period. Not for their fucking campaigns, not for any of that shit.
You know what? This is a profound statement right here. Let me tell you why. If you watch WWE wrestling, the pendulum of the whole thing is the face versus the heel. And they manipulate stories in wrestling to change the temperature of the individual that they want to be a good guy or a bad guy in order to get heat for either one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about it is that the way that I see it is if at some point the media decided to turn back into Donald Trump's good graces, all of these tards would too. Seriously. If they were to admit that it was all a scam.
Yeah. Well, no. Here, wait. I got something for you. And that's perfect. Because they do admit that it's all a scam.
Nancy Pelosi, 7 or 8 highballs in at 11 a.m. in the morning, wobbled up to the stage. This is 12 years ago. This clip is 12 years old, and explained exactly what they do to Republicans. She explained the strategy of the wrap-up smear. And it is so instructive to listen to it just straight from her. So I'm going to remove myself out of it. Obviously, you guys know, where my allegiances lie, and my thought process is, and my worldview, right, on politics. Let's let instead Nancy Pelosi explain what Democrats do to Republicans, how they plant evidence and crimes, how they literally plant crimes on Republicans, destroy them in the press, utilize their organs in the press to destroy them, and then use that as a predicate for an investigation. Here's Nancy Pelosi, while Donald Trump was still donating to Democrats, while Hillary Clinton was attending Donald Trump's wedding with Melania, with Bill. We get those great photos out of that. Here's what Nancy Pelosi was saying about their strategy, and it hasn't changed. Let's go.
Down hospitals and the rest of it. So they don't want them to see that contrast, so they focus on something else. And it's a diversionary tactic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then
Where have we heard this before?
Yeah. Something that we've been screaming.
Where have we heard? And so here it is out of the monster's mouth.
you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident. But I think I'm worth the trouble.
I mean, this is what we've been harping about.
Man,
And
what
so-
was you drinking that day? Shit.
Yeah, no kidding. Because I need some of that. I think she must have been drinking. What's that? What's the name of the truth serum? Sodium pentothal.
Oh my God. Because something was wrong. Something's wrong in the buttermilk there, man.
And see, this is even before, the big Trump setup and everything else.
Look around long enough, and you'll see the setup.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder about 9/11.
Man, it makes me wonder about all of these cases.
I mean, but think about it. It make you wonder about 9/11 for real. Like you literally, put a, because that's
Okay,
always been-
all right. Let me ask you this. Okay, in relationship to 9/11. All right. And in relationship to the things that we see, going on in these court cases. What then was the motivation for 9/11? What is it they're trying to sell?
fear.
To who? For what? What was the point?
Fear begets control. A lot of times people beg for the government to do something, and when they do that, they fall right into the government's hands.
Well, I'm not looking for abstracts. I'm looking for the goal. What was the goal? Okay, and let's assume for a minute, all right, that 9/11 was an inside job. What exactly was the goal? What did they hope to achieve?
I mean, that's not an abstract thought to me. I think that they wanted to invoke fear upon the American people,
But
like they always do.
But if that's an end or a means to an end, what is the actual goal? I mean, to instill fear. I mean, what do you accomplish by doing that?
When you do that,
That's what I'm trying to say.
When
What
you
was
do-
the
when
end
you
goal?
do that-
Because I hear this all the time. And just so you get where I'm coming from, it's not that I disagree, because I believe that the possibility does in fact exist. But what I don't see is the goal. Now, I see the goal in prosecuting R. Kelly. All right. Because that was all about money. And it was about influence within his industry. And the kind of, wacko turn, that the left has taken. All right. I can see that. I can see the goal in, weaponizing state and federal court systems in order to try to damage Trump. And so if 9/11 was planned from the inside, what was the goal? What did they hope to achieve from it?
to invoke a war, man.
With who?
with I mean, I get we had a conflict after that.
I mean, because I mean, we already had a reason to go over there, you know, with the invasion of Kuwait and all that kind of neat stuff. And so
Yeah.
what's missing for me, okay, on the 9/11 piece specifically, is, you know, what was the actual goal? Because I hear, you know, we talk about the conspiracy or the possibility all the time, but I don't see.
I mean, but do you? I mean, just in theory, do you think that it's a plausible idea that something like that could happen?
It's always plausible, and I believe that the mechanics exist to make that happen. And I'm not arguing that at all.
Okay.
What I'm the only piece that I'm arguing, or I'm not even arguing. I want to have a conversation about it, and
Okay.
that is, you know, what exactly was the goal? What did they hope to achieve? Because I don't see a benefit to it.
So you don't think that there's a benefit in controlling people?
Well, you know, it looked down in the chat. All right, we got Soap says it's to justify to going to the sandbox, but again, I say we already had justification with the invasion of Kuwait. Even before it took place, it was imminent, you know, and you know the line had already been drawn in the sand. So
Okay.
we didn't need to like run an airplane into our own World Trade Center. We didn't need to, you know, try to run an airplane into the Pentagon in order to go into the sandbox. And so what then was the goal? Just for that particular piece, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
It's more plausible to me that there were entities within our intelligence agencies that knew that the possibility existed and may have even known about the plan and did not properly act or communicate on it. I believe that piece. But and I guess the reason that I believe that piece is because
that's a good answer.
You know, it's because I still don't see a benefit in, you know, like attacking the World Trade Center and that sort of thing. Now, I will grant you, yeah, it pissed a lot of people off. And so, you know, they pretty much had carte blanche after that to do whatever the hell it is they wanted to do, you know, in the Middle East, bomb them into the Stone Age, whatever. Because, yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, it's a it's really, really funny just to think about that. You know, there could be, you know, the possibility is always there. You know, I mean,
and Valiant Thor, I have been calling for aliens for, you know, a couple of months now because that's the other shoe. I mean, what else do they have?
But these are people whom either snuck over or were invited here.
Well, yeah, and either of those could be true. And like I said, I do think that somebody had knowledge of, you know, the mechanisms that were being used in order to make it happen. I do believe that somebody in the intelligence agency had that knowledge. Now, whether the question is really, did they withhold that information intentionally, or did they withhold that information or failed to communicate or realize the importance of the information that they had?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's, you know, and the thing about it is when I think about these college, whatever you call them, riots, I look at that and I'm like, seems like a bit of an inside job where all these students get these expensive $500 North Face tents. I'm like, somebody's literally funding this.
Well, yeah. And that goes back to, you know, the riots that we saw in New York and in Chicago, and go back and look at the videos. All right. Where did all of these pallets of bricks come from?
Man.
Why are there a bunch of college age white kids driving around in cars handing bricks out to everybody that they can find in a neighborhood.
Throw this at something.
Did you see that video?
Yeah, not show it.
Oh, let me find it, man. I may have to do some digging because it's been a little while. But this woman, she went up and down some of these kids that were just out there, like, you know, handing out bricks and stuff like that. I'm gonna make a note of that because I'm gonna have to dig for that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like that in all of this, there's so many puppet masters, man.
Yeah. And then we know that people were brought in, you know, out of, because look at all the arrests that were made in both Chicago and New York. They're not from people that live there.
Right.
90% of those arrests were from people outside that don't live there.
And people don't even understand, like, they're forgetting how dangerous an environment that is with all the fighting and all that. I'm like, after fisticuffs, there's weapons, there's guns. That's the next step. So you think that this couldn't boil over? And then we got a president that it takes him 10 days. He's done correspondence dinners. He's done Howard Stern. And he says nothing. And when he gets on in front of the podium, he says even more of a nothing and gets to talking about Islamophobia. And then the next thing you know, they're passing a bill in Congress talking about that people can't talk and make anti-Semitic speech. Wait a minute. That's a direct attack on the very first right.
Yep. And I don't care which way it goes, you know. Yeah, they need to get away from that altogether, trying to tell people what they can and cannot say.
That is a dumpster fire, because if you can do that, then you can say that I can't talk about certain things. It only gets worse. It only becomes a situation where there's more attempts to control more things. That is an inalienable right to be able to say what you want to say and be protected. It's protected speech. You can't get fired for that.
Yeah.
But they've been doing it. You know, I come from an era of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And it blows my mind when I see all these people with hurt feelings about words. Words.
Yeah, and you can see it plainly, you know, with all the attacks on comedians lately. Oh my God, if you're a comedian and you step out of line and say something funny, you know, you're dead to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me. It's amazing that, you know, we live in an era where you can't even be funny. Yeah. And just to go to show you, you know, something real interesting that I came up with real quick. We're going to go ahead and do a little something for you, because Mr. Jerry Seinfeld saw fit to let these MFers know how he feels. And I think that it's really, really refreshing to know somebody is actually saying something. Oh yeah, shout out to the Benny Show. Yeah.
Again.
Guys, boy, Benny, if you were to ask me to make a list of the top 10 people that I want to have dinner with or living on Earth right now, on that list would be Jerry Seinfeld and Elon Musk. I have made no secret of the fact that I'm a big fan of the show Seinfeld, and I'm a big fan of what Jerry Seinfeld's done with his career after that show and how he's just sort of maintained this incredible integrity with his comedy and hasn't sold out or gone woke. It's been amazing. Elon Musk obviously needs no explanation. Donald Trump would be on the list. And I'd have to think, about the other slots. But anyway, the point is that mommy and daddy are getting along. Elon Musk is tweeting Jerry Seinfeld clips, which is awesome. Jerry Seinfeld has a new movie out, and he's going on a little bit of a press tour, and he's being asked about the state of comedy. Elon Musk tweeted this video of a Jerry Seinfeld interview that was done in the New Yorker. And Elon Musk said, make comedy legal again. 235,000 likes, 32,000 reposts, and 50 million views. Wow. What is this clip? Ladies and gentlemen, we found it. Here it is.
Nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so badly, and they don't get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people.
Mm-hmm.
When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke. Well,
You see that shit? It starts with that. You take a person's ability to have a sense of humor away from them, then you get this type of crap every single time.
Well, and back in the old days, do you understand the purpose of the court jester?
Right.
His job was to, in a provocative way, tell the truth as he saw it, and of course he was considered to be, the fool, and nothing that came out of his mouth was to be believed. But often, that was the point. He was the one guy in the court that could say the truth without having his head taken off.
Right. That's where the roasts came from. Because people could literally make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
Literally. Real people, not people that's driven by feelings and emotions. The Teletubby generation and all that shit,
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, Ricky Gervais tore them up. He tore them up.
Yeah, the Teletubby generation, man.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you seen, Tom Hanks with the look on his face that he made during that thing? Even he was taken aback. And, he's supposed to be a comedian. Guess it wasn't so funny.
No. The truth sometimes hurts. Let's go ahead and see what they're talking about here.
they move the gates like in skiing.
Yeah.
Culture, the gates are moving. Your job is to be agile and clever enough that wherever they put the gates, I'm going to make the gate.
This is exactly what Dave Chappelle has done. Led to the massive resurgence in Dave
Oh, we
Chappelle's
just said that.
career. He kind of like disappeared for a decade. Now Dave Chappelle is back with a vengeance because he moves the gates. Ricky Gervais is another comic who has used this model. Jerry Seinfeld saying the extreme left politically correct mob killed comedy. Remember, they tried to destroy Dave Chappelle's career. They tried to end Dave Chappelle. They tried to cancel Dave Chappelle. All the Netflix people walked off because they didn't like his jokes. That was a moment we lived through. And you know what? They could have been successful. Dave Chappelle would, of course, gone and done his comedy anyway. But Netflix could have bowed to the pressure and canceled Dave Chappelle. The extreme left kills comedy, not the extreme right, ladies and gentlemen. And I have proof of that. I'll show you in just a second. Seinfeld attacks the extreme left for ruining TV comedies with PC demands. He previously warned his fellow comics not to perform at colleges in 2015. I was actually at that event when Dave Chappelle, when Jerry Seinfeld was saying this. This was said at a live event that I was at. It was amazing. Seinfeld, the Jewish comedian, been attacked for stance on Israel. But what I really care about is the fact that he's calling out the extreme left for being unfunny. This is a result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying too much about offending people. Seinfeld is no stranger to politicizing, sort of criticizing the politically correct. Back in 2015, he warned that other comics not to perform on college campuses because they're too politically correct. And he was right. And ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld's legendary.
Don't you dare carry your ass up to no damn college. Try to tell some jokes.
Yeah.
They're so damn tense and been indoctrinated, you'll get killed.
I can only think of a couple of comedians that could get away with it in that environment. You know what I mean?
Right. And they're lefties.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Bill Burr comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because it's not
he can walk the line.
Yeah, well, it's not that he's a lefty, but he's definitely not a conservative either. You know what I mean?
He walks the line.
Yeah,
definitely. Let's go ahead and see what else Benny's talking about here.
Show, which has made him a billionaire by many estimates. Seinfeld is a show that offends almost every single program, and it is iconic because of that. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, if you watch a season of Seinfeld, you're gonna get offended at something, right? And that's great. If we're laughing together, we're a society, we're a culture. If we're laughing together as a culture, then that means we actually have something in common. There's some kind of like cultural harmony there. It is the extreme left, not the extreme right, that is killing comedy. This is a good example. Okay, so the extreme right, okay, who would those people be? I don't know, Tucker Carlson. Let's just pick a name out of a hat. Who's the most extreme right-wing commentator? Tucker Carlson. Okay, fine. Let's put Tucker Carlson on stage during a comedy event and see what happens. Here's a short montage of Tucker Carlson getting roasted by comedians, getting called the N-word at Joe Rogan's comedy mothership club in Austin. And Tucker knew this was going to happen. This just shows you exactly like how much the extreme right, okay, for lack of a better term, doesn't give a shit at all. Like, we love it. Roast me. Let's go.
Make some noise for Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan. We were literally at dinner, and he's like, I want to show you my new place. We're standing backstage, and I didn't know I was coming out until I heard my name. We call that the old Post Malone right there. What's up, you good? Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. It's crazy. My grandma hates you. She doesn't mean it. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. She can't stand your ass, dog. I see y'all like, they go my grandma up right there. I'm gonna talk to his ass. Tucker, what did you think about Enrique Chacon? You watch a lot of stand-up? You a fan of stand-up?
I love this man.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tucker. Maybe
Brown noser.
You can give me a green card, you know? I'll do any gig in this country, but outside the country, I'm at the end of my man Tucker, you know what I mean?
You're already taking jobs Americans can't do.
I saw the wig. I was like, dude, this guy this guy got power, bro. He got power.
That's so awesome, dude. You're welcome to tug on it.
Hey, that's some good weed, dog. That's some good weed. Tucker, mother Carlson.
It really is a treat, Tucker. I genuinely have to ask you, did that one guy suck Obama's?
Did that actually happen?
I have the answer, and let me say I don't judge, but oh yeah.
So yeah, Jerry Seinfeld's right. This is not the extreme right that is killing comedy. It is the extreme left. They are the censors. I don't want to censor anybody. To censor somebody, you have to control what they say, which is controlling what they think. And I couldn't imagine something worse than controlling what somebody thinks. I don't want that. I barely control what I think. One of the people who strangely called this out from 1,000 yards away was Bill Burr, of all people. Now, Bill Burr, obviously, his wife flipped off Trump at the UFC. He got a lot of hate for that. Bill Burr is a pretty brash comic and pretty honest comic. And I think he's of the left. I think there's no doubt that he's of the left. He's certainly not a Donald Trump supporter at all. But he also, like many comics, is clear-eyed enough to see maybe both sides and able to call out the left on what they've done here, not just to destroy comedy, but also to destroy themselves. Here's Bill Burr on Jimmy Kimmel's show, one of my favorite clips ever. And it's tough to say that because Bill Burr's got a lot of hate from MAGA, but
yeah, he does.
This is a ringer, you know.
He
This is
gets
a
hate
ringer.
from both sides.
He's right. Left-wing,
Absolutely.
narcissistic, nihilistic lunatics going after Trump and going too hard at Trump have like made Trump inevitable, and it's going to be great for comedy.
Like, I know what I'm going to tell my kids when they get to a certain age. I really am. Like, I have it down
have it
about
planned out?
religion and people.
Really?
Narcissists, sociopaths, all of this type of stuff. Like, you want to
All
see
of
a
the
great
above.
case thing on, like, narcissism. Liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump.
What do you mean?
You should shut up. He's a narcissist. Neutral energy.
Yeah. You think he'd go away? If
You know
we
what I think he was? I think he was a one-hit wonder.
Uh-huh.
Right? He wrote The Twist.
Uh-huh.
And then that was it. He was on the casino circuit, and then you
Yeah.
idiot liberals wrote him Twist again when
Yeah.
you indicted
True
him.
story.
Now he's a martyr.
I say it all the time. You guys created
It's
this
better
mess.
It's going to be great for comedy. He's coming back. I can't believe like these are honestly going to be our two choices because I really try to with each thing to try to be like figure out who I'm going to put. I mean, it's got to be. I want somebody in their 40s, somebody that's going to have to live with their decisions. I don't want like with any luck, they'll both die of natural causes before the election, and maybe you could get somebody that still has something to live for.
Wow.
You know.
This year, you're not going to get a visit from Santa, but you are going to get a visit from the Secret Service.
Why? I said died peacefully.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear peacefully.
I did.
Oh,
no,
you
and then you threw that in.
I must have thrown that in. Yeah. Bill Burr is here. He means no harm.
That was actually an honest take.
Yup. Hey, so I found it.
Oh yeah.
So let me bring this up. Du-du-dum.
Go home. Why would you send that to them? They're gonna get in trouble. You stupid. You were all of y'all. Why the you give this to them? That is wild disrespectful. I don't give a about your friends. I'm talking about this white bitch giving a group of black men a brick to throw. Do you know that get them killed? You know that. Just having that to get them killed. Y'all find yourself so sensitive. Go to the house and kick everybody ass. Go to the house and let everybody glasses off their face. Yeah, that's the bull. What the is that?
They just sitting there waiting to give somebody a brick.
A black man to walk by so you can hand them a brick.
Why are you on We're on your side! We're on your side! Holy We're on your side! We're on your side!
Hey guys, you see this?
Yeah, and so you can't tell me that these things aren't planned.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, they found pamphlets with Death to America and all types of shit on them, man. I mean, craziness. Like, what are we allowing to happen? Let me see. I want to see that. Let's see. What was? Give me 1 second, you guys.
Let's see. I'm also looking for.
They said they were they found all types of shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good Lord. Like these see, the thing of it is, okay, you're protesting. And that's all well and good. That is a right. You have the right to protest. But man, when you protest like this, absolutely freaking ridiculous. Absolutely 1000% ridiculous, people.
We are inside the encampment. There are probably less than 3 dozen protesters left now being taken into custody. And being inside the encampment, you get a real idea of what's been going on here. I mean, they are very well organized from, I mean, we just saw a bin with.
Looks to me like they're very nasty.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with these sit-ins lately, man. And I mean, they go into it, knowing that they're just going to sit in one place and soil themselves and just be nasty.
Oh my goodness. They were literally asking for shit like diaphragms and birth control and shit in their demands. What are you doing? What's going on? Hold on. Wait a minute. It's not funny, man. But what's going on? Like, seriously. Oh, Jesus.
Probably 1,000 batteries in it. Batteries for their flashlights, batteries for their lanterns that they've been using. It is quite the setup. We're going to show you more of that later on. Right now, you are looking at the last set of protesters. Again, probably 3 dozen of them left being taken into police custody as that pre-recorded message continues to play, telling people that they are in violation, that this encampment is unlawful, citing the.
Get your ass up out of here. Get your ass up out of here. It's time for your asses to go. You're breaking the law. Get fucked up if you want to.
Just do it somewhere else.
Oh, shit.
Different penal codes that they are in violation of right now. And you can see flashlights, batteries. I'm going to leave that right there. Just the different signage. They have hand washing.
I'm touching that shit, and that's how you get COVID. Looks like that's a nest egg for disease and shit. That's it. Oh, Lord.
Area. A lot of food areas.
Look like this. They stole some campus tents and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they literally, what the heck?
You know what the worst part of it is? You ever see these like save the planet get-togethers, like in Manhattan, and in New York City and that sort of thing. Whenever they're done, with their little, get-together for Save the Planet, it looks just like this.
My gosh.
You'll see more Starbucks cups laying around, but it still looks just like this.
See, get their little lists and shit.
Mm-hmm. What is that? Their list of demands? What is that?
Protection kits for tonight or whatever they. But how are they affording this shit?
So the same people that deliver them are delivering all the crap. They didn't just levitate,
If you do not do so, you may be arrested or subject to other police action. Other police actions may include the use of less lethal munitions, which can cause significant risk or serious injury to those who remain. Section 409 of the Penal Code prohibits remaining present at an unlawful assembly.
That's right. And all in all, it was peaceful. It could have been, it sounds like a cliche, but it could have been much.
All that damn graffiti on the wall. You talk about peaceful.
Worse. A young lady being taken off campus now wearing one of those orange safety vests, something that a lot of the protesters were also wearing. And as photographer Butita to pan this way, here it says protection kits for 6 p.m. Knee pads. We actually saw a lot of knee pads being thrown in the air. Ponchos, umbrellas, face shields, lights, flashing wipes, rags, goggles, Viva la resistencia, power to the people, long live the resistance in Spanish written. But this
What
is
are they resisting?
I guess getting a job later on in life.
I think that has something to do with it.
For their supplies in preparation. There's one of those orange safety vests that we saw a lot of the protesters wearing. And you see helmets, you see the goggles, you see masks, food. They have a bathroom section. There you can, there's a huge pile of Kirkland toilet paper. You see the helmets they were wearing. And there's one of those safety vests that were brought in. They had a lot of support. A lot of support. There's wipes, more facial wipes and sanitary wipes, flashlights, packages of
Yeah, they were getting
flashlights and
shipped
gloves.
shit, man.
Almost all the protesters were wearing gloves in addition to the helmet. There's another young man being taken. Free Palestine. Saying free Palestine.
Free Palestine from what? They open up their own can of whoop-ass.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, just out of the blue, you know, one day decided to just go in and just raid the village next door.
Mm-hmm. And now that it ain't going your way, we got problems.
Now, when you have all of the surrounding Arab countries refusing to take Palestinians, then that should tell you something. And I'll go back to that clip that we watched, you know, of the not the World Economic Forum, you know, NATO.
Right.
Remember we watched the clip where that dude come out and said, you know, hey, you know, Egypt, well, where are all of your Palestinians? Hey, Saudi Arabia, where are all of your Palestinians? You know, and so, I mean, I know there were times where, you know, Palestinians were accepted into Egypt and a few other places, but Egypt specifically is the case scenario that I remember, where they went in and tried to take over the government of Egypt or overthrow the government of Egypt. And so, you know, that ended that. And so, you know, it just kills me when you sit here and you watch the talking heads, you know, oh, you know, free Palestine, you know, and all of this kind of crap. What are we freeing them from that they have not instigated themselves?
Right, because I can remember people riding around in Israel on motorcycles and shit in military gear, fucking around. You remember that shit? What was that, last summer?
I mean, there's always been something going on.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
You know, since we've been alive.
Yeah, they've been acting a damn fool, but let's continue. It's almost done.
Taken away. The California Highway Patrol taking the last few dozen protesters that were left standing, the last men and women left standing here in this encampment. What they did was they circled around them. They continued to make that circle smaller and smaller and smaller. And now they have them up against Powell Library. You can see the scaffolding. Apparently some construction was being done here at UCLA, and they've spray painted.
Well, yeah, they're all that graffiti and shit. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And, you know, I did see another video today of you know, one of these young scholars. I guess she was a senior at the college that she was, you know, doing this protest at or whatever. And, you know, the college came down and said, all right, all you people that did all this craziness, you know, you are banned from campus, you know, for the next 100-something days, which took them right past, you know, testing for finals and everything. And so this chick is on national TV crying the blues because she doesn't get to graduate. Right? Because she did all this craziness. And this goes back to the other thing that we have beat over the head over and over and over again on this channel, and it's personal accountability. You know, because she gets up there and says, oh, I never thought in a million years. Well, what kind of consequences were you expecting? Something that was more palatable for you? Perhaps you should have looked into that before you went and did all that stupid bullshit on a campus. Don't poop where you live, or don't poop where you sleep.
Or what you eat.
Even dogs know this. You know, if you're going to act the fool, go do it on a campus that you can get banned from where it's not going to, you know, affect the rest of your life. Idiot. They're going to self-eliminate. They're going to self-eliminate.
I mean, this is like, look at all this shit, man. I mean, just look at it.
You know, and it really is. Somehow it's our fault, because I mean, it's not our generation that's doing this. It's the generation that we raised that's doing this. Or let's say it's the generation that we raised that's falling for it.
Yeah.
Because they're not actually pulling the levers.
Right. Because we gave them cell phones.
Oh my goodness.
All they do is look at shorts and look at uncontextual information.
Well, I mean, you put out a 15-second video that got 9,000 views in 24 hours. What does that tell you?
Right. Right.
You know,
I literally rest my case.
Yeah. So, I mean, you started with that. You started this show with that. And, you know, here is proof positive.
Absolutely. And not to mention, this is the border crisis that has been happening ever since before Trump got elected.
Well, yes and no.
To a degree.
I mean, it was initiated by Obama. That's where it started.
Yeah, since before Trump even got elected.
Well, yeah, because, you know, as soon as Trump got elected is when we started seeing the waves of people at the gate.
Absolutely, man. It's crazy, man. I can't look at this filth anymore. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah, you missed out on a couple puppet gates, didn't you, man?
Yeah. And you know what? Let's see where we at now. We got about 10 minutes left. I think we should put one up, man.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and, you know, Kilroy girl like goes insane over a puppet gate. Yeah.
And I haven't seen the latest one. And so this will be a first time screening for me.
Okay, absolutely. So, you know, just so you know, man, we freaking missed you, bro. We were literally.
Thanks, man. You know, I was laying low.
Yeah, you was laying low and doing your thing. Let me pause there for a second. And like I said, out of respect, I just let you do your thing.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Everybody deserves it, and you know, we chopped up like, yeah, you know, what happened? What'd you do? What's going on?
And I'll tell you what. And while we're on that topic, you know, everybody who's watching and everybody who's in the chat, man, it is good to unplug sometimes. You know, I took out my phone to check the weather and play some music, and that is about it. For 2 weeks.
Fucking around, man. For a week, it's gonna be the noob show.
Yup. I think Nisi called me one time. She told me about the Weinstein thing, you know, and we were in Tombstone whenever she called about that. And I was lucky we were in a place where I could even get a cell phone call. There were places out there where we couldn't.
Absolutely, man. So let's just jump into some fresh puppet game. Have you seen the Bodega one yet?
I'm not sure. I might have missed more than one.
We're gonna tear your ass up, then. It's okay.
Hey, yo, this is your girl, Peekaboo James. I'm lurking in the rat-infested streets of New York City. And I want to tell you, watch out. I'm coming for you. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. I pretend to be neutral, but really act blue. It's Attorney General Letitia James. The whole justice system's going up in flames. I love to eat mayo with buckets of French fries. I know that you can tell, just look at these thighs. Roll with that Alvin who loves to brag. He's shaped like a potato and his man boobs sag. I'm coming for your business, producers of meat, as I pretend to be vegan and self-defeat. And I blame it on beef and gas emissions while our cheeks squeak with this pure precision. If you're pale, go to jail. Dark or brown, hell no. I think that I am perfect, not a single flaw. I don't care about fair or the rule of law. I make up sham cases as I'm grasping that straw. Peekaboo, I see you. I pretend to be neutral, but really act blue. It's Attorney General Letitia James. The whole justice system's going up in flames. Biden stands no chance, so I help him cheat. Cause I think one day I'm gonna have his seat. Illegal immigrants, I'm gonna wash your feet. While the homeless veterans are living on the street. Me and Engel run, don't care about no one. I wanna give a shout out to Merchant Juan and his daughter Lauren of Authentic Campaigns, who raised 93 million. Girl, that's insane. Nothing to see here, no conflict of interest. Dems love double speak with number one, the best. I want to steal everything that Trump invests. The real fraud is me, let's put this case to rest. Peekaboo, I see you. I pretend to be neutral, but really act blue. It's Attorney General Letitia James. The whole justice system's going up in flames. Too male, too pale, and too stale. This administration too male, too pale, and too stale. This administration is. I want to give a big shout out to my sugar daddy George Soros. Yeah, you know what you did. FDNY, better watch your back, cause I'm hunting you down. Oh, and Trump, you owe me $450 million bucks. Pay up.
Oh man. Shout out to those lovely people over there at Puppet Gate, man, for another one, man. Another one. That was for that. Hey, spot on shit, man. They really, really don't miss, man.
I think they just put the bullet points down and then go for it, because I mean, geez, there's so much fodder out there for them,
I mean, but it's factual fodder.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
it is factual fodder. It's like, oh shit. So
yeah, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
I need some Doritos, bro.
Oh, I did see this one. This is a pretty good one.
Hello, New York. I'm making a stop here tonight in Harlem at the bodega that Jose Alba owned, where he defended his life in 2022 and took out a violent criminal. That thug is now dead. He's dead as a dog. I'm being persecuted by corrupt Alvin Bragg and his rogue Judge Merchan, whose daughter, Lauren, profits from the sham hush money trial. Her company, Authentic Campaigns, raised more than $93 million from corrupt Democrats such as Cackles, Kamala Harris, Pencil Neck Adam Shifty Schiff, and even Genocide Joe. Lauren's company uses this bogus trial as bait for donations. Judge Merchan won't recuse himself despite the obvious conflict of interest. And he even put a gag on me. But guess what, bozo? Go ahead and put me in jail, because I'm not going to shut up. You will just turn me into Nelson Mandela. Anyways, let's go inside the bodega and say hi to the new owners. Hello.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to my bodega.
Thank you. What a beautiful place you have here. Very clean and loaded with all the good stuff.
Hey, speaking of good stuff, Trump, I want you to take a hit of my fancy backwoods cigarro.
Oh, no, I don't smoke.
I know, but just one time for La Fiesta. Come on, man. You in the hood now, homie.
Okay, fine. Just one little taste. Whoa, what kind of cigar is that?
Hey, see, I call it the stinky skunk.
I'm hungry. I need some Doritos, bro.
Hey, no problemo. Take anything you want.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, adios, amigo.
Yeah, New York City. Let's make Harlem great again.
Ha! Looks like Trump is right at home in NYC.
I can't say it enough. Those guys are hilarious over there at Puppet Gate. Extremely talented puppeteers, if you will. I mean, I promise it's the most fun. It's some of the funniest shit I watch on.
They're a mess, just like us.
Absolutely, they just got puppets. I told them I need a Provoke Thoughts podcast puppet. I need one. You guys can do one for me.
Oh,
gray beard and all.
You might be on to something, man.
Yeah, that should be funny. See if they can imitate my crazy ass voice and my laugh and shit when I'm making fun of these fuckers.
So what's our next night on? We're going back to the regular schedule. So our next one will be what? Monday or Wednesday?
You know what? I think that I want to just, I kind of want to jump in on Monday, kind of see what's going on. Maybe.
Yeah.
Depending on the news strand, because right now you can't really predict it.
Right.
It should happen every day. So we'll definitely have something to talk about, but for our scheduled lives, it's going to be what is it? Monday, Wednesday, Saturday?
Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
Okay, now if something happens dramatic tomorrow, you never know. We might jump on.
And today is Saturday, and so on either tomorrow or Tuesday, we should have our next short in the can and up on the site. And if y'all haven't checked into the homepage at Provoke Thoughts Live lately, check it out. We've been rearranging some things so that it's easier to see. You don't see as much of the older stuff unless you go through the tabs, but the more recent stuff will be right on the page there, and you'll see the shorts come up and all that kind of neat stuff. So it's even more reason to go out and like and subscribe so that you get a notification whenever we decide to drop something stupid for everybody.
Hey, Kilroy girl, if you liked Puppet Gate, you'll love this. You surely will. Give me.
This is a Provoke Thoughts original.
It's so good, I gotta do it again. I think that was pretty accurate, if you ask me. If you ask me, I think I was pretty much spot on. Good Lord. So basically, I knew you would. I just knew you would, Kilroy girl. I just knew. I knew you would.
It is hard to laugh at that dude anymore. It really is.
But I knew you like it.
Yeah.
I knew.
And the problem is that anything like that you do anymore, it's so accurate. It's like,
yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, damn.
Oh my goodness. So we've reached the end this evening, everybody. I do appreciate everybody who's come in tonight and commented, and I see we got special shout out to somebody who I haven't really seen like that before. But Valiant Thor, you've been putting some profound stuff in my comments, and I appreciate that. I want you to always feel free to come on back and do what you got to do. Bring some friends.
Yep. And that comment that is highlighted, we have talked about that before, and we will keep beating that issue to death, because when you have a government that is paying money specifically to a family that does not have a dad or a father in it, they're paying specifically to break up families or for the families to be broken up, then there's a problem, with that kind of, what do you want to call it? Socialism.
Right. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I can say, make sure that you come on back, for V White, Kilroy girl, my man Lex, everybody who came in tonight, my man Rowan, thank you for showing up. My homegirl Teresa, thank you for showing up. It's been a little light one, but I will catch you on the next go round. I'm glad to have my boy Noobs back. We gonna get this organization thing back. I'm gonna go ahead and rein in my cussing. I did pretty good.
Not too bad. Not too bad. I think we both might have let one slip tonight, but
yeah, maybe about one. You
know, it's a process.
Yeah, you know, hey, you can't build Rome in a day. You can't unpotty your potty mouth. It takes about 30 days to get a good habit going. So we're gonna
acclimate.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna work on that. But like I say all the time, I appreciate everybody's time that sat here with me for 2 hours while I run my mouth and show videos. I mean, hey, you could be doing something else, but you chose to be here, and I appreciate that. I love you all, and we're going to get out of here. Noobs, hang out for a minute for me, and we're going to go get it roll. Peace out, y'all.
How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit. It's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we get taken and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngins pull their pants up? How long we gonna keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gonna keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beats stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.